Thank you for tuning in to this very special episode of the Dagnabbit Boys podcast. As you can already tell, this is an audio-only episode. What's going to happen is Shane recorded 15 minutes on his phone with a fellow comedian, Dylan Farr, and I am about to record 30 minutes alone, and we're going to put those together, and that's going to be the episode because we are not able to meet up before I go out of town due to poor planning. So we're going to start off with Shane's, and then we're going to go to mine. So I really hope you enjoy this. Thank you so much for tuning in.
Welcome to the Dagnabbit Boys, starring Dylan Farr.
No, this is evil. This is fucking evil, dude.
I'm just saying, hey, we got to record this 30 minutes.
30 minutes? Oh,
yeah.
All right, so what are we talking about? How does your podcast work? I listened to about a minute, and I don't remember much.
You got the point.
Yeah, you said
it's you listen to a minute, you get the point.
Yeah, okay.
It's like a book. You turn to a page, you get the point.
So what's your favorite slur? We can say them at the same time.
I don't have one.
You don't have one? That's a lie.
Why don't you say it?
Why don't
you say your favorite one, and then you can explain why you're allowed to say it.
I hate this. I'll spell it out. How about that?
Okay.
Okay. And we'll do it. Okay, we'll do it back and forth. N.
Oh.
I don't even know what that would be. I got nothing, dude. This is
Z.
Oh, man. This is so bad. I hate it so much. Is that even recording? That would be really funny if you just been fuck. If you just been holding your phone at me as like a threat.
Hey, we're doing the podcast right now. So, if you listen to a minute.
Yeah.
Which episode?
I'm not sure. It was just you two sitting across from each other. Part of the reason I looked it up was because you said that your fans hated you, and I thought that was very funny. So I started looking at the comments, and it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
But I mean, I love a podcast that's just two people giving brain dead takes. So why
don't you give a brain dead take right now?
Brain dead take. Fuck. Well, it's not. This is actually in brain dead. This is an awesome take. I think, well, it's not even that. I think OJ killed Nicole, but I'm glad he got away with it.
Okay.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of, and I think it's awesome that there's a lot of evidence that shows that it's like pretty clearly him. Because it's like truly like, I mean, it's like that Chappelle bit about like black people seeing white people so disappointed by the justice system is like, oh my God, it's so good. So it's like, yeah, Nicole died. She was a nice lady. Some sacrificial lamb shit. I don't care.
I would disagree with you. I think that OJ didn't do it.
You really don't think he did it?
I don't.
What do you think? What?
I think it was somebody else.
Stabbed herself? What? I'm sorry. I think it was somebody else?
Hey, I don't want to throw out, all these theories that have probably been disproven, so people will think I'm an idiot.
Yeah,
but I don't think that he did it. I don't think he acted like somebody that did it.
He acted like somebody had some serious CTE, that's for sure. And I think someone was...
Hey, just because somebody has CTE doesn't mean that they stabbed their wife multiple times.
Okay, but I think that Venn diagram is like... It's not a circle, but I don't know. Mm-hmm. What was it? Man, I thought about OJ so much. I literally was going to meet with my friend, and he was introducing me to his like new girlfriend, and out loud to myself driving in the car, I was saying, don't talk about OJ, don't talk about OJ. Because most of the time, white people don't like to hear that it's cool that he killed some stupid white lady, even though it is. I don't know.
I think that's exactly what this podcast needs, though, is that take.
More OJ takes?
Well, I just think, I mean, we say it's good when people die all the time on the podcast. So.
Yeah, fair. Dude, Chris Dorner, he fucking kicked that.
Chris Dorner's good. How you feeling about Muhammad Atta?
I don't know who's he.
From 9/11. One of the biggest hits in American history of 9/11.
Yeah, I mean, pretty cool guy. I don't know if I could give a lot of notes on how to do that differently. If that's like, I'd say he achieved what he wanted. And
all right.
In a lot of ways, it's like looking at a piece of art that you don't necessarily like, but it's set out what it meant to do. I think a lot of people talk about Ari Aster.
So you kind of have a Roger Ebert kind of take on 9/11.
Yeah.
Where it's like the way Roger Ebert would give 4 stars to an action movie and 4 stars to an art movie.
No,
so you would give 4 stars to 9/11, which is as mainstream as you can get.
Exactly.
And you would also give 4 stars to Christopher Dorner, which is kind of an
much
art
more
house.
niche. That's like an A24. Like,
yeah.
This rules. I love this. This is so stupid. I would absolutely give. Did you sit down here knowing you were going to do this to me?
No, I decided to after I said
you needed
that I needed to do a podcast, and then I might just spring it on somebody.
Okay, you should spring it on a bunch of people and then delete this one.
Why?
I don't know.
This one's going pretty good.
That's too bad. But so I guess the star rating for tragedies. I got this
tragedies. You were saying Christopher Dorner's based. You were saying OJ's based.
That's fair.
And you were saying Muhammad Atta is one of the goats.
Yeah, but it doesn't mean it can't be a tragedy, right?
I guess it doesn't mean that. No.
Yeah, I think both. It's like, why not both? I don't know. I just read a book all about school shootings, so that's all I can think about. And I'm like, man, none of those are fun. I can't ironically give 4 stars to like fucking like Parkland or whatever. Like,
what'd you give it? 2.5?
At least.
Yeah, okay.
I guess kind of what credit is due.
All right.
But,
I don't know. Maybe I could get Cooper to do some editing and put the little stars on the screen.
That would be really funny. Oh my god.
This is kind of what our podcast is like anyway.
I mean, from the minute I watched, I was like, okay, yeah, I fuck with this. I don't actually know Cooper that well. I know he's funny. That's about it.
Cooper's very funny.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to watch this and edit it together.
You're actually gonna give this to him? I'm so sorry, Cooper. Nothing like talking directly to the editor. People love that.
Yeah. What's your favorite part about Cooper?
My favorite part about Cooper? That he punched some guy at an open mic like fucking 8 years ago.
Oh, wow. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people's favorite parts about Cooper.
Yeah, I remember Luis was constantly saying the most dangerous comic in LA was Cooper. I think that's very funny.
Well, that's true. That's turned out to be not true, I think.
I think the most dangerous comic in LA is everyone's favorite fuckhead, Ian Russo. With his,
yeah.
You give that man a fucking steel water bottle, you can't stop him.
Also, the countless pedophiles that are...
those are also bad.
Yes.
But those aren't as funny.
Yeah, I mean... I probably shouldn't really list the pedophiles in the scene, but you can.
I can't. Well, I'm not in the scene anymore. I wouldn't.
Yeah, so you can.
Mm-hmm. I could just guess. I could throw out names. I just start saying people like my old friends.
Who?
I could just throw out names, but I don't know anyone, so I just say old friends that I used to have.
Oh yeah, those are guaranteed pedophiles.
Guaranteed pedophiles. Oh man, you work with some of them.
You have the Dylan Farr promise.
Confirmed pedophile.
Yeah.
And that, man, what is this sucks. What do you talk about? Do you guys bring takes to the table?
No, we don't really prepare anything.
That's fair.
It's kind of the same as this.
Kind of off the dome.
Yeah.
You got a rhythm. You're funny people. I get you.
Sometimes we'll accuse people of crimes.
Ooh, like who?
We accused, I'm not going to say his name, but we accused somebody of, a chair did. A chair accused somebody of a crime. It wasn't us.
Got it.
But yeah, we do all sorts of stuff. We do long form riffs, which the people love.
People, they're always calling up being like, "Can you do that more? I want that riff for 2 hours, not just one next time."
Yeah, a lot of people are saying our podcasts aren't too long enough. A lot of people are saying our podcast should be an hour and not 45. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying.
That's what most people tell me about any sort of media. Yeah. Could we do it longer?
I mean, people tell me about podcasting that that what they like the most about it is that it is. That it is a podcast.
That is a podcast.
I mean, when people watch our podcast, they say, this is definitely a podcast.
Yeah, they can't deny that. There's no way. I don't know what this is. This is debate. This is really pushing towing the line of
it's experimental. It's avant-garde.
Oh, fuck, dude. That's pretty good. It's like mumblecore podcasting. Nobody likes it.
Yeah. It's like Captain Beefheart or something.
Yeah, exactly.
So people might watch this and, when they're like 15 and pretend to like it, and then eventually get back into it and then be like, all right, now I actually do like this.
Yeah, the notion that someone could watch this that I don't know personally fills me with such dread.
Shout out to Aaron.
Is that like your single fan?
Well, that's one of our fans. She was on the podcast. She listens.
You brought your fan on the podcast?
She's not a fan. She's a friend of mine.
Oh, okay. So it's not a fan.
It's not a... Yeah, we don't have any real fans.
But you have people that listen.
We have people that listen,
They
yes.
don't like it, so which is fine. I mean, it's basically...
I mean, you know Eli. Eli watches.
Oh, yeah, he's great. Eli's
Yeah.
awesome. I fuck with Eli.
I don't mess with Eli. I
Okay.
don't like Eli.
Oh, why not? What did he do to you?
I just think he's like, he smells really bad.
Oh,
And
God.
he's always asking for money.
And he's so it's just really...
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, I wouldn't either.
I wouldn't.
Please, God, I don't want to even joke like that. That sucks.
Confirmed. Eli Mutsky.
Just flashing on the screen.
Put his face on there.
I don't think you. I just no. I'm sorry. I don't consent to that. Not that. Why would I? Why does it matter? It doesn't matter what I say. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you didn't really consent to any of this.
That's a good point. If you had told me I'm going to record a podcast right now, I'm like, I have literally anywhere else to be. I'm just that treasurer pulling the gun out of the manila folder.
Well, how about this? I'll only record 5 more minutes, and then I'll send it to Cooper, and that should be enough.
And Cooper will be like, "Please, Shane, stop doing this."
No, no. This is fun. You know, we could.
This is fun. I think in the same way, like torturing an animal is fun. It's a very one-sided experience.
I don't think torturing animals is fun at all.
Okay, well, I think I guess I was just making that assumption about you.
No, I do have family that does that, but
that's fine. Yeah, I can't imagine there's something I could think of that you haven't, like some sort of like horrible thing like that you have not witnessed firsthand, like I guess animal torturing or I don't know. You tell a lot of stories that are like, that's insane. I feel like.
Yeah, I've pretty much been witness to basically every bad thing.
Yeah, like most of them.
Yeah. I mean, I have family that have been human trafficked.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I got a bunch of bad stuff.
I think, which in many ways makes you more powerful, if you think of it that way. Like,
I'm a very strong, tough guy.
Yeah, that's what I would say. I would say you're not easily razzed or like frazzled.
Yeah, I don't feel anything about anything.
Yeah, I'm sure it's nothing that should be interrogated any further in therapy or the psychiatry.
No. People tell me to go to therapy. I say I don't. Why?
Why would I fuck up my superpower, which is being fine right now with everything?
Yeah, I don't feel like negative feelings because I don't feel feelings. And why would I want to feel?
I guess that would. Yeah, that's fair. You know what? Honestly, good. Especially if you're a comic, like who gives a shit? How do you guys sign off podcasts? We've got to be coming up on that 5 minutes.
We sign it off by saying, stay funny. So, but we have 3 more minutes. We have 3 more minutes.
Okay.
Let's give an explanation of what's going on here in this room at this time.
Yeah. I mean, we're in kava culture in Atwater. We're playing music. People are drinking kava. I'm drinking kava.
I'm drinking kava.
It tastes disgusting. It's an alternative.
It's really nasty.
It's really, really nasty. That honestly, pretty mid effect. But it's better than it keeps me from drunk driving all over the place. So
yeah,
that's the +1 for me.
And I'm kind of trying to wean off of kratom a little bit.
Kratom is addictive. I can't fuck with it for that reason. That's like
I'm trying to get I'm an ascetic right now.
Ascetic? Sorry,
ascetic. It's like I'm like a Tibetan monk.
Oh. Yeah, I guess sure.
I'm trying to forego earthly pleasure.
Are you trying to escape samsara, like the cycle of life and death?
Yes. So I'm quitting kratom. I quit smoking.
Fuck yeah, okay.
And I cleaned out my car.
Are you allowed to jack off if you're trying to escape the cycle?
Am I?
I don't know, actually. I don't know if like earthly pleasure is allowed in any form.
Well, that's a huge bummer.
I know, right? It sucks because then you can't escape it. I don't know, but cleaning your car is dope.
Yeah,
we're all there. I need to clean my car. I know you were joking that you might showing it to Cooper, but I'm like, I totally get that.
I was so excited about it.
Yeah,
I went to a car wash today. That was fun. They made it so I can see out of my window. You ever clean your car windows and then you realize that
you were looking through grime?
Yeah, you were actually supposed to see what's outside the windshield.
I literally had that. Like, I went to a car wash as well because multiple passengers had said, "Dylan, you need to clean this."
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you talking about? I can see fine. And it's just like, no, it's just gray matter. I'm driving by instinct.
I feel like I can see too much now.
Yeah, it's like, you ever watched your car windshield and then for a second thought it wasn't there because you were seeing through it clearly?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's like when you put on glasses after you haven't put on glasses in a while.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like kind of fucks you up a little bit.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're starting to come up towards the end of this.
That's good. At least we had a natural conversation for a second there. I feel like I was panicking. I feel like I hate this. I hate it so much.
Well, if we get lucky, we won't be able to hear either of us. The music's playing. I honestly have no clue if we'll be able to hear any of it.
That's a good point. It might be trash. But anyways, it was very fun. Thank you so much for having it on Dagnabbit Boys.
Yeah.
You are hilarious.
Stay funny.
Should I plug anything or?
You have an art Instagram.
I'm kidding. I don't have to plug anything. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, stay funny.
Stay funny.
Okay. I hope you enjoyed Shane's conversation with Dylan. I have purposely not listened to it before recording this segment of the show, because I want, it's what usually you get to see is both of us coming together and being on the same page. And now this is us being on completely different vibes, doing completely separate things. I am currently recording this it is 11:49 p.m. I have to drive to the airport at 4 a.m. I woke up at 7:30 a.m. today to drive for 6 hours from San Jose. I actually didn't drive. Jessie Jetski Johnson drove because she took me, Angie Stroud, and Joey Cerrone with her to open at the San Jose Improv, which was very exciting. It's a small theater. I think it holds, 700 people. And that was the first theater that I got to do, I realized. Which was cool. I was very excited for myself. I tried to not feel shameful that it was the first theater. That was my kind of immediate thought. I was like, wow, this is the first theater. And then my second thought was like, wow, you fucking loser. Why haven't you done a theater by now? Which is crazy. But that's how I think. And I just tried to be excited for the moment. And I thought it was very cool. I mean, I guess technically I have done the Laugh Factory in Covina, which, is a theater. But this one had a balcony. Nobody was up there, but this one had a balcony, and so that was cool. And I had fun. I had a good set. I had a good time. Everybody had a good set, actually. We all had a good time. And then I'm gonna fly to Massachusetts to be with my family because my stepdad has a tiny little beach cottage, and I'm gonna get to see my brother and his fiance. So that's what's going on. But, that's only what's going on in the external. It's really about what's going on in the internal that you guys pay the big bucks for. Also, thank you for paying $100 a month just to listen to this. But, I don't know. Been thinking about a couple things. One thing I haven't really been into, and I have kind of voiced this on other podcasts that I've done with Shane. I don't really like some of the most preeminent podcasters now saying the art form is kind of worthless, because I understand that there are a lot of podcasts at certain times, mine included, that are, it's hard to call it art. I don't think I ever would, but I don't think it really needs to be art to be good. But there's a lot of guys, Mark Maron and Nick Mullen, two guys that I love and I look up to a lot. I think they're both very funny, and I aspire to be like them in some ways. And one of the ways is that they both had podcasts. And to me, as a young comic, I started when I was 17 in 2017. I looked at podcasts as, okay, so that's cool. You can build your own thing, and then you can do that. You don't need to get on TV to have people care about you. You can talk about exactly what you want to talk about, and you can build a fan base and tour and have a career. And so that was sort of the way that was shown to me. And now, those same guys are like, man, podcasting's so pointless. And I understand it because they've done it a lot more than me. And especially when it gets so famous and becomes such a big thing, I'm sure that it starts to feel, you start to sort of resent it because you're like, why does everybody look up to this thing that I don't even feel like I love that much, But at the same time, they're talking about like, oh, it's not real. It's a peripheral connection. I'm forgetting the word. I really need to sleep. But, they're saying like, people are pretending to be friends with you and that's like not right. And it's like, well, people love listening to other people. They always have loved listening to other people. The fact that 30 people are going to listen to me and Shane do this, albeit the smallest number possible, is still insane. And we've been listening to each other forever. And so the fact that we've been able to digitize it and that we still want to do it is not surprising to me. And people are like, oh, it's not a real connection. Oh, of course it's not. It's not face to face, but there is a connection in a certain exchange of ideas, albeit one way. And it's like, yeah, I don't think podcasts supplant talking to other people and making actual human connections. But the idea that the fact that it's not fucking getting married means it's pointless, I think is like a really just cynical, dumbass take. I think what it is people will ascribe high importance to something just to tear it down with that importance, where they're like, what they'll say is like, people say it's so fucking important and special, but actually it's not. And it's like, what if it's not that important and special and it's just kind of nice and fine to listen to? Because like, in my in my life, I like to read, and sometimes I'll listen to scholars, like John Mearsheimer or Elon Pape talk about, certain things going on in the world, and I like to learn. But like today, I was pretty fucking tired, and I listened to a few videos talking about what's going on in Gaza and stuff. But I also just listened to like Matt and Shane's podcast, and I listened to a little bit of Nick Mullen on Jordan Jensen's podcast because I want to listen to something, and I don't really want to have to think that much. And, I love listening to the Grateful Dead. I listen to a lot of music, but sometimes I want to listen to just two people joke around and have a funny conversation. I don't think that's such a big fucking deal. It's like we don't, stop like listening to the fans saying it's the most important thing. Just listen to yourself saying it's not that big of a deal, and then also don't resent it, And yeah, I think it really just sort of pisses me off because like comedy is, there's never really one way to do it, but there are trendy ways that certain people gain popularity. And for a while it was podcasts. It does seem to be fading out into YouTube shows, and I really don't want a YouTube show. I'd like to have a podcast and just to be able to talk and get better at it, and to get better at explaining my ideas, and hopefully people can enjoy that. I don't think that's such a bad thing, but it's annoying when the pioneers of that genre are now like, no, it's actually over. And it's like, well, fuck you guys. Because if it's over, I don't know what the fuck to do. Because I don't think getting on Kevin Hart's Netflix show is necessarily going to happen for me. And even if it does, I don't think that's going to get me headlining in clubs. It's pretty clear that you need to have a following. And I don't want to make videos that are like, when your girl go to the club and you at home playing Madden. I don't want to just make mindless content, And I don't think podcasting has to be mindless content. Like right now, I feel actively engaged in trying to make this point, albeit impromptu. I think that makes it more interesting. Yeah, I'm sorry I didn't write a fucking speech before I pulled out the Rode Podcaster. But I still think some people are listening to this being like, yeah, I get it, It's not like you're fucking Socrates right now, but listening to you isn't the worst goddamn thing in the world. And maybe you're hearing the emotion in my voice and you're going to work and you're like, yeah, it peps me up a little. Let's get pissed today. Let's look at the other person in the office and say, why the fuck are you alive? Give ourselves something to think about. Give you some juice, Give me a perspective for the day. And then I'll jump off that and do my own thing. I don't have to think the same as everybody I'm listening to. But, if I start the day off listening to Tim Dillon, maybe I'm, in the hardware store being like, why am I selling screws when China's going to enslave me? And that makes the day more fucking interesting, I don't think, I don't know. I feel like it's almost like this weird, like Puritan, purist perspective of like, don't listen to anything mindless. It's like, I think it's actually pretty important to consume mindless shit and bad art in moderation to kind of balance your head out sometimes. Because listen, I've done, periods of intense reading about intense things. And I'll tell you what, everybody in my life really fucking hates it. But if I go to my boy Morgan at the Comedy Store and I go, did you hear what Matt and Shane said this week? He'll be like, yeah, and then we'll have a great conversation. If I go to him, And I go, hey, John Mearsheimer was on Tucker Carlson's podcast, and I'm not a Tucker guy, but John Mearsheimer is sort of the premier geopolitical expert that's really been right about what's happening in Ukraine and also what's happening in Israel. You should check it out. He said, no, I am never going to check that out. People don't want to hear about it, okay? It's a bad example because it's a podcast, but it's not a talky podcast. You know, it's a scholar trying to explain to a guy what is going on in another part of the world. You truly cannot constantly be just purely learning things. Sometimes you need some silly, stupid stuff to get in the mix, you know. And you know, maybe I'm not going to sit around and watch a movie. I got to go. I'm in the car for 2 hours. And, you know, I like listening to a live Grateful Dead show all the way through on the drive. But sometimes, you know, you start kind of, the music fades out into just sound, and it's good to get lost in your head, but also just it's nice to just hear some ideas. It's a good balance between like active listening and kind of, you know, not having to really think, of just like, well, what are some other ideas, you know, and then they influence other ideas. I don't know. I just don't think everything has to be that important. And I also don't see why podcasting as a whole art form has to end. I don't see why it has to. I'm sure, yeah, like I get it. It got very big. And it seems like in this culture now, when anything gets really big, everybody's smart-ass response is like, well, it's all going to explode. And sure, like everything comes to an end. But it's also like people wanting to listen to other people is never going to come to an end. People listen to fucking philosophers talk, and then they listen to people writing books, and then radio came, and they said, great, more voices, you know, don't have to be there. And now podcasts are taking that place. There's always a space for a guy with zero qualifications to speak, whether it's a philosopher. Once again, zero qualifications from those guys. They literally just kind of felt like doing that. That should be clear. Literally, I don't understand. Like, people are like, you can't compare Socrates to a philosopher. And it's like, I mean, honestly, why not? He was sitting around being like, isn't this shit fucked up? And if that's not podcasting, I don't know what is. Okay? Philosopher is also way too hoity-toity of a word. I mean, some philosophers go pretty hard, but some are fucking retarded, and they just ask a lot of questions. Nothing is that big of a deal. I think that's really my core belief about everything, is that everything matters, you know? Everything matters a lot, but it doesn't have to be like a big deal. Because I think when things become a big deal, people start thinking about death and how like, well, it's gonna end, and you know, everything matters. Like, you should talk to your parents as much as you can. And if you have a bad relationship, then I understand. But if that relationship is repairable, I'd fix it, because they are going to die. And then you don't have to live with fucking a bad relationship that died, you know? So everything does matter. You should take stock of everything in your life, you know, your own life, your relationships, your connections. But it's also not, you know, nothing is paramount. Everything is of equal importance. You should take interest in all things. So it's like, you know, I don't think the fucking book I'm reading about George Washington is any more important than listening to guys joke about, you know, what if you made beer with cum? Because the brain can't hold that much information. Anything you're taking in is only in your brain for so long. I was talking about this with Shane, you know, and he said it a good way. He's like, it's really not about learning everything about George Washington. It's about thinking about George Washington. That's what books are cool for. Because I have kind of an improper thought of books is like, well, if I read this, then I'll know this, and then I'll be a different person. And really, it's like, no, you'll read this, you'll experience it, and you will be different now. But it's not really the knowledge that you retain that's going to make you different. You can only retain so much knowledge. You read an 800-page book, you're only going to come away with a few things that you really remember. You know, it's about just trying to sort of piece things together, change a frame of mind, and think differently for as long as the book or the podcast last. And that's, you know, that's why it's all just grease for the mill. Life is a zero-sum game. You don't come out of it with anything. So it's just check stuff out, experience stuff. I don't think stuff, you know, needs to fucking end or be ascribed some godly importance. It's not that big of a fucking deal, you know? And everybody on both sides needs to calm down. You know, podcasters that think they're really important need to calm down. And fans that think podcasting is really important need to calm down. And the people saying that you should consume anything but podcasts need to calm down. There's a lot of horrible stuff in the world. There's a genocide currently happening. It's crazy anybody's talking about podcasts. You could argue that it's actually morally corrupt of me to be talking about any of this while a genocide's happening. But also, you could argue with the same point I made earlier that, you literally cannot think about the genocide your entire fucking day. And if you do, it's actually proven that most of the time what happens is you will overwork and exhaust your brain so much at the point that you actually think you've done something and then you won't do anything. And that's why, when it comes to any kind of collective movement, it really can't be driven by a really high intensity emotion like hate or anger. Because if you're just like, oh, I fucking hate this so much, you're going to tuck yourself out. And then in your mind, you're like, I'm really a part of the struggle when you're not, You can't take everything, you can't make it so big. Even if it is big, obviously what's happening is disgusting. But at the same time, you need to keep a cool head on your shoulders so you can look at things functionally and go, okay, if I don't like what's going on in Gaza, what can I do? You know what I mean? How can I, contribute in some way without just reading books and annoying all the friends in my life? That's something I need to figure out. You know what I mean? I don't have a lot of money. What can I contribute, though? What can I do that could possibly help people over there? That would make me feel better. Because, also charity is, I've read about this in The Brain. It's like you actually get more satisfaction from receiving things or from giving things than you do receiving them. And a lot of people resent that. They look at it very cynically. They're like, people only do charity to make themselves feel better. And I'm like, dude, if it makes you feel better, then it's more incentive to do it. If charity didn't make you feel good at all, nobody would ever do it. People rarely do things that don't make them feel good at all. Like, even going to a job you hate, you still get a check. There's still a reason to go, I don't need everything to be in such a pure form. I don't need podcasting to be so important and fucking walk in daisy fields and discover life. And I don't need to donate to charity purely out of some conception that it's a just thing to do. Because even that conception is just, it's self-serving. Everything is self-serving. Everything you say is a lie and everything is self-serving. I'm not doing this to make a point. I'm doing it so hopefully people go, oh, he's fucking smart, and tune back in. Everybody's lying to you all the time because they're lying to themselves, because there is no such thing as a self. You have a conception of self and you perform that. So it's fine. Everything you're seeing is real. There's no core truth. We're talking about that in anger management. They're like, sometimes I meet really nice people. Another guy was talking, and I totally understand this perspective. I felt this way. And he said, when he was younger and he'd meet really nice, happy people, he'd be like, oh, you're hiding something. And I understand that. I used to think that way because I'm a fucking asshole, where if I'm upset, I just tell everybody and ruin the whole goddamn day. It took me a while to realize, like, no, really outwardly happy people are feeling everything I'm feeling, but they're making a deliberate choice to be happy. Because being happy is like an absolute choice. It's not a constant state, but it can be more often if you choose it. And so those people deserve a lot of respect. If you meet a motherfucker that is just all smiles, of course it's not realistic. They know that. But what it is it's aspiring to be something you'd like to be, which I think we should all be doing, I don't know. It's just like you can't think that any kind of pessimism or cynicism, negativity is somehow on the right side just because it's not sunshine and daisies. Sunshine and daisies can be a fairly realistic perspective, There's a lot of people that are like, well, if you expect shit to be bad, then if shit's ever good, then it's actually a win. And it's like, well, not really, because bad shit's going to happen to you no matter what. So if you're just being negative and expecting bad shit, what you're really doing is suffering for things that haven't even happened yet. But if you're choosing to be happy, then you get to be happy until the bad shit comes. And don't worry, it will, for all the pessimists out there, don't worry. Horrible things will happen to you. I assure you, horrific things. Like beyond your comprehension. And I know when I say that, you're thinking of like, well, most Americans don't go through that, but I'm talking about relative, horrific things, Your kids are having sex. How could this happen? It's fine. Be happy until then, Watch your son play football and think he's normal until you find out he's having a baby with your daughter. Until that happens, choose life. And then when it does happen, choose abortion, I'm just saying, like, be happy, and then when the shit goes down, keep your head on straight and make the right decision. Don't raise your children's son. If I can say anything to anybody listening, if you need any kind of inspiration, it's that if your children have conceived a child, don't birth the baby. And don't think God wants you to either. You got to stop letting stuff hold you back, you know? Listen, if you believe in God, you think he hates abortion, I can tell you he hates your children having a child more. I can almost assure you of that. Not all things are, you know, I would never say anything I say is true, but I feel good about that one if I'm being completely honest. Even hardcore Christians, tap in, leave a comment, let me know what you think. Because I get God's plan, I get that perspective, but I don't know. Sometimes, like, you know, football coaches have a plan, but a good quarterback just like sees a different play and makes it happen, and that, you know, that can win games. You know, you also need to trust your players. I think if God is a good coach, it's like, then trust your players, you know. And I like to think he does, you know. I'm not a believer, but I'm just saying, if God exists, I like to think that he trusts his players. That he goes, yeah, I drew up some good plays and stuff, but they do make audibles. You know what I mean? They make audibles, and I don't always mind it. You know? He saw Judaism, he's like, cool. And then he's like, oh shit, Christianity. Oh shit, Islam. Nice, you know? But now you got 3 teams competing for the same ring, you know, for thousands of years, and that's not good. So what are you going to do? I don't know. And this is the marketplace of ideas. And to the pioneers of this industry that don't want it to exist, tell them to listen to this fire-ass shit and tell me it shouldn't exist. I swear to God. I'll beat the fuck out of any podcaster, by the way. Me and Shane need to start, like, I don't know. We talked a lot of shit on the last episode, and honestly, I think, like, talking shit is it can really just be pussy. I mean, I kept in the stuff we said because I thought it was funny. I really don't care to defend any idea expressed, but I truly just laughed in the moment, and I was like, well, if it's funny, then that's why we do this. And, you know, in terms of putting funny first, we'll put the horrific things we said second, you know? But I do think that beyond just shitting on other people, we come get some real smoke, like physically. Anybody can get it. I swear to God. Marin, such a big fan. Talked to him the other day in the lot. I was like, everything you're saying is really cool, and, you know, he was like, I'm doing it for you guys, you know. But just also, like, just on some man shit, just on some G shit, like, I will fight you for the crown of podcast king, you know? Like, out of respect. Like, out of respect, I will go to battle, you know? And if I vanquish you in the ring, then it was done, you know, all with love. You know what I mean? It's like taking the belt from another heavyweight. Like, respect is taken, not given. You know, I understand that that's not actually how podcasting or comedy works at all, but just, I don't know, I like to shake things up. It's like, I do want to be a pioneer in my own way, and, you know, if we can insert some kind of meritocracy into entertainment, you know, maybe all these, like, streaming boxing matches, you know, why not, like, literally if somebody loses, they no longer have a channel, and all of the people that listen to them somehow are forced to listen to the guy that won. What about that, you know? I don't know, but, you know, there's a lot of bullshit going on in the world, and you just got to keep your head up. You just got to stay away from the haters. That's one thing I'm learning from this George Washington book. The one thing I've learned is he got a lot of shit, which is crazy. You realize he won the Revolutionary War. He established the fucking nation that we live in today, and, like, 6 years later, he's president, and people are like, fuck this guy, which is in its own way kind of sick. Like, that's a very American thing, that, like, we didn't even like it for a second. Now, that being said, the people that hated him were more of a minority, but they weren't a small group, you know? He hated the idea of political parties, and then fucking Republicans popped up, like, within years, you know? Like, just all it took was Alexander Hamilton making some constitutional changes, you know, adding some taxes, and then Jefferson and Madison. Motherfuckers that like the French were like, fuck this shit. And they created, the Republicans, which still exists today. And a lot of those thoughts of, less government and shit still exists within the party. But isn't that such just an American thing that like we really didn't have fun for a second? We created our own country and then we're immediately like, fuck the president. That's crazy. And, it is classic hater shit because they were like, everybody loves this guy so much, we can't even do politics. Like, anything he does, people just fuck with it so much that, like, he's going to become a monarch, which is hater shit because he never wanted to be a monarch. He barely wanted to be the president, but people still hated, But I'm getting to the part of the book where he's about to die. Rough life. I mean, what am I saying? Luckiest life in the world. But it is crazy to establish an entire nation and have people shit on you. And, that just, to anybody out there, just know that whatever you do, people will fucking hate you for it. Literally whatever you do. The country was in enormous amounts of debt. Alexander Hamilton was like, this will help out with the debt. He was like, okay, fuck it, let's do it. Like, we got to establish credit in this country. And then Jefferson was like, what do you think, you're a fucking king? And he was like, dog, like, what the fuck? Jefferson was like, we got a group of guys. And he's like, no, don't do it. And he's like, we do. Fuck you, dude. I swear to God, I'll beat your fucking ass. You can be on the money. You'll still have haters, And also he owned slaves, which is some real fucking bullshit. So, I mean, he deserves all the hate for that. He was a pussy-ass bitch with his slaves. Because he'd be like, damn, slavery's so bad. I really wish I didn't own slaves, but like, ugh. I do not want to do this work myself. He also never had a lot of money, which is kind of crazy. Like, he never had a lot of disposable income, which is very odd. I feel like you think of him as like the richest man possible, George Washington, but people would hit him up and be like, I need money. And he'd be like, he would... Imagine you like you kind of know the president and you just learned what a president is. You kind of know him and you're like, he must be the richest man in the world. Like, he's a leader of our country. Because you're only used to kings. You used to be England not that long ago. Like 5 years ago, you were part of the British Empire. So you're like, well, okay, the new leader, he's probably like the king. You hit him up, you're like, I need help with rent. And then he sends you back like a pretty pissed off letter because you got to ask for money too much. He sends you back, he's pissed. He's like, I swear to God, none of my crops will grow. And this president shit, I'm spending it all on this plantation that like is fucked. I do not know how to farm. Fuck you. We just got to be crazy. The guy's wife is like, wow, the Washington wrote you back. Is he going to help us out? And he's like, no, I guess he's broke. And she's like, what the fuck? Once again, very American thing. What a beautiful way for our country to start. For our own president to look at people the way all of us look at homeless people, where we're like, I don't got it. And he had a little, but he was also kind of selfish, but he still didn't have much, Our own president being like, I cannot help you out. Our president was in so much debt. If that ain't America, I don't know what is. The first president was in mounds of debt. Only a country like that can just somehow keep surviving for no fucking reason. For no goddamn reason. Like, just how the fuck are we alive? And here's the thing. A lot of podcasters love to tell you that America it's the end of the empire. Every other fucking country is experiencing harsh population decline. People talk about overpopulation, absolute myth. It's usually just used to justify famines in the world and like, oh, we can't feed everybody. We totally can. Every other country's population is fucked. China, our biggest competitor, their one-child policy is about to fuck them up the ass. Within the next 50 years, they will experience catastrophic population decline. And in the next 10 years, it's going to start being noticeable, which is probably why they're going to invade Taiwan in like 2035 or some shit. So shit is going to pop off a little, but here's the thing. Immigration gives us such good population numbers because people come here and just pump out kids like motherfuckers. And also, we have the highest rate of children out of wedlock. It's like 49%. It's fucking crazy. Other countries don't like immigrants and have respect for themselves, so they don't let anyone in, and they don't have kids until they get married. We do not give a fuck. We just keep birthing people that are born into mostly horrific conditions. But my point is, America will have the population and the money to most likely become the unipolar power of the world again. China's power will decline. Russia's really not that important. I mean, right now it's like China and the U.S. We really live in like a duo power world. Well, I'm so fucking fried right now, but there's not one country that's the most powerful right now. We're sharing that with China. Us and China are the most powerful countries, and that's why we're in kind of a battle right now. Russia's like a far third, but China's going to decline in power because of their population. You need power and money because you need population and money because population and money equals military strength. So those three, that gets you to the top. But their population's going down, and ours is just going to keep climbing. So we're going to become the unipolar power again. Bad news is, last time we did that, we did a bunch of shit that has led to the Ukraine war. We did not give a fuck about what anybody thought. We spread NATO all across Europe into Eastern Europe, provoked Russia, and now there's a war in Ukraine. We also probably won't stop supporting genocides, so that's bad. And shit here is not going to be great. We usually never use our own power. So I'm not telling you good news, but I am telling you that everybody who's telling you America is going to be destroyed, it's the fall of the empire, sorry, bad news. Our evil ways literally cannot be stopped, at least for the next 50 to 100 years. Unless we really stop fucking, and Gen Z isn't fucking a lot, but everybody coming into our country is having babies like motherfuckers, and I salute all of them because our population thanks them. So, listen, if there's one thing you can take away from this episode, America gonna keep shining. And so are all the people you hate. Everybody in your life that you go, they don't deserve that. Why the fuck do they keep going? That is literally the country. It's what we're built for. It's what we're built for. Washington had the luckiest life in the world, man. That guy, just lucked into everything. He got given so much land and slaves. He was in the right place at the right time to just have this social status, this political status, and to become this icon of America, all the while being a slave owner in debt who had no teeth by the end of his life. There's no reason anything should ever happen, but it does, and it will. So don't give up and never stop podcasting.